Michael, with this game sandwiched in between Champions League qualifiers, how key is it to make sure that the full concentration's on the league, given what happened last weekend?
Yeah, obviously the full concentration's on this one.
How tough do you think it'll be?
Very tough. Loads of respect for David and the work that him and his staff do. So I think it'll be a tough game, yeah.
What in particular do you feel that you've done well now after Wednesday that you need to work on, and things that you still need to develop?
Well, we've had a little bit more time together on the training pitch. Obviously, it was a sore one last week, but it was a positive result midweek. The most important thing was to win the game. We know we could have won it better, and we know that last weekend we had chances as well. So it's clear that we're creating good moments, and the most important thing is we keep creating, and over time we'll take them.
In terms of building this understanding between all the new players on the pitch, is it just as much about understanding or developing a mentality as well to make sure you've got that winning mentality? Yeah,
of course. It's the start of a new season, and we've played 2 games, and I get that we lost the first one, but it was a good performance Wednesday, and off the back end of last season we were in a good place. So it's important we don't go overboard, but it's certainly important that we win this weekend.
Michael, can I ask you about when players come in, how long you expect them to take to get up to speed and be acquainted with everything that's required to be a Rangers player?
Well, the squad's been reloaded, if you like. It's a lot of the ideas are the same, but it's reloaded. These players come in from different leagues and different countries, and their family is settling, and they're in and out of hotels, moving into new places. So you have to take the human element, but from what I'm seeing from the players, I'm happy. It's just, they're just into a new club. It's intense here, as I'm sure they're already aware. But every day they'll get stronger. I've got a lot of faith in them.
Is that just part and parcel of being a professional footballer nowadays, that when you do move, the elite players anyway, that move around the world, that you go to different environments, but there's not a long honeymoon period. You really do need to hit the ground running pretty quickly.
Yeah, of course you do, because everyone has hopes and aims for the season, and we know our first month in Scotland there's a lot to play for, both in the league with European football and the League Cup as well. I think the big thing to remember is, we lost all of our forward players, if you like, and we've changed them all, so that's going to take a little bit of time.
In terms of Livingston, what do you expect from them, and do you expect any changes from what they've been trying to achieve over the last couple of seasons?
I think David's done a fantastic job on the budget that he's got and the way he goes about it. He does well in his recruitment. He's done fantastically well. There'll be a tough nut to crack for sure. They'll make it difficult for us, and it's important we find the answers to the problems they solve.
And in terms of Harkin, the midweek game against next week in Switzerland, is it easy to do that?
Yeah, it is easy to do that. Certainly after last week, we're not thinking about Servette now. We've got plenty of time, Sunday, Monday, all day in our nice hotel in nice surroundings in Geneva before we play in the evening. But our focus is on Livingston.
I think when you were speaking there about the intensity of managing and playing for a club like this, just put it into context what that is actually like day to day for a player coming in, or indeed you as the manager.
Well, you've got to focus on your work. There's a bit of you versus yourself going on every day. You've got to make sure you motivate yourself firstly. You come in here, we can encourage players, but they've got to bring their motivation and their aims and their training. They have to understand that it's a squad game, and certainly with 5 subs now and the fact that we play every 3 days, the recovery and the preparation is important. It's important when they get their opportunity to play that they really come in and show what they can do. And it's a squad game now, football. The games are getting longer in terms of the minutes, obviously, that we were seeing with the injury time and stuff, and the fact that you've got more subs now means the energy on the pitch should stay high. In terms of the intensity of any big club, there's demands, but none of these players got to this level without demanding a lot from themselves anyway, and giving a lot of expectation to themselves. It's important sometimes you remove the background noise and you can really focus on the work you're doing in here.
You mentioned throughout the summer tours that constantly meeting players and seeing the whites of their eyes and making sure that they were up for that test. How much of it also is trusting your own instincts of a player and making sure that you do cancel out the noise that's been going on last week?
Yeah, this is a unique place. it's a unique place, this city that we live in, and the demands. But everybody signed up for it. I enjoy it. Believe me if you want, but I enjoy it because there's an expectation, and every game means something. Every game there's a challenge, and I think prime example is what we've already faced this week and what we're going to face in the next week with the 3 games we've got now. Livingston, Servette away, and then Morton coming. For those teams, like it is for us, they're huge games.
You mentioned being that sort of motivator for your team and whatnot. Give us an insight into what motivates you during this period.
Just to work with the players. It's a new team. As I say, it's a reloaded squad. There's lots of new faces. The challenge is to get that team, really slick as quickly as we can. I thought there was real positive signs in midweek. You'd like to score 1 or 2 more goals, and then it would have almost been a perfect evening. But it doesn't always work like that. The excitement is coming in and working with these players every day and building this new Rangers team, if you like. There was a lot of familiar faces in the squad last year. It seemed that people maybe got a little bit fed up with some of those faces, so we've got some new ones now. So let's learn and support them and work to build this new team. I'm hugely motivated by that.
What is your squad looking like for the weekend?
1 or 2 bumps and bruises we just need to assess now. So 1 or 2 will miss out. I'm not going to give you any names, or I'm not going to give Davey any names today rather than yourselves. But no, there's 1 or 2 that we'll need to protect this weekend. Because they've got 1 or 2 things niggling in the background.
What's the situation with Scott Wright?
Scott Wright went over to speak to the team for Turkey. The move fell through. Scott Wright's a Rangers player and for the foreseeable until anything changes.
Michael, you found yourself in transition a number of times against Servette. It looked really impressive in terms of the way you're breaking forward. I wonder if that came from the work you've done between defence and midfield. How much have you been working on that in terms of the build-up, and if that was an element you were happy with?
Well, listen, we've it's not something that we get a lot in terms of transition, big spaces, to be honest, sometimes away from home. But if you look at Kilmarnock last week, that was not the case. That was 21 players maybe in about 35, 36 yards. So you have to find solutions to all of it. If you had a choice, of course, you'd prefer bigger spaces. We've got some athletic players, Danilo and Sam and Todd. They can bring us up the pitch. I thought both fullbacks really went for it the other day in terms of their running power in the big spaces. Abdullah Sima, I think, was the 2nd or 3rd fastest player in France last year. So there's another player there we got. Rabbi Matondo gives us that as well. So if we do play against teams in open space, I think we're equipped. Our problems, like most teams really, is when you play against a team that sit loads of players back, it's who's going to unlock that door. And the combination play, you're running, you're outplaying 1v1 in those moments are really important.
We saw with the second goal, John Souttar breaking from the back. Is that something that will be important, that aspect of his play against these low blocks that you face, the ability to burst through for defence, big lines?
Yeah, but I thought also Nico and Todd run forward a lot more from midfield, and both fullbacks run forward a lot more. And it was a faster pitch, and that certainly helped us on the night. John Souttar's got fantastic attributes. The longer John can stay fit and healthy and play more matches, then everyone will see that more often. But I think everyone knows that John Souttar's a really good player. But unfortunately, his career to this time has been blighted by injury through no fault of his own, I have to say. So it's lovely to see him fit and healthy. And I thought he was fantastic in that goal. He combined with Jacko, who drove past 3 or 4 players. There's not many centre-halves around who have got those qualities.
Particularly for me, it's been said by Rangers manager in the past, in Scotland you have to earn the right to play your football, to win the physical battle first and foremost. I wonder if you still think that's relevant in 2023, and just how you would address that notion.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I think the biggest thing is if you have control of the game in terms of possession and more shots, more crosses, more set plays, the likelihood is at some point you're going to take one of those. And we didn't last week. Livingston are going to compose us completely different challenge to Kilmarnock in different areas. I don't see him as just a physical team, so I wouldn't want to say that. I think that Davey's got an organised team. He's got a way of playing. I think they're quite good in transition as well. So it's a different problem for us to solve, and there's a lot of variety in this league. So I need to be careful answering that question.
How are you with Jose Cifuentes' cameo, and is he a different profile to what you've got in that area of the park?
He's playing tomorrow.
Just happy with his performance, his first glimpse that you got of him on the park on Wednesday?
Yeah, he's a prime example. He didn't get in until late on the Wednesday, on the Thursday before, a bit of jet lag, but I wanted him to be on the bench just to see Scottish football, 8 subs, let's just get him there and so he can understand the environment. Still just only moved into his new place the last couple of days, so he's in and out of a hotel. I thought he was quite good when he came on the other night in a small glimpse, but now I think he's ready. He's been playing since January, he knows his teammates. There's ever such a small language barrier because he speaks decent enough English, and he's ready to go now, and I'm looking forward to watching him tomorrow.
You've mentioned that the spending will even itself out this summer, roughly. Is there a lot of work going on behind the scenes in terms of outgoings? Because you'd assume there would have to be to sort of even that out at the moment.
We're one away. I think some of the prices you guys have inflated a little bit. So, we're one away. One maybe going out away from that all evening up.
One more ask.
Michael, can I just ask you, one of the big challenges you've got, is it that you need some patience just to build a new team, but in Glasgow you never get that time?
Listen, I don't think any manager does now. I lost my first game as QPR manager as well, 1-0 away from home, and that didn't feel too great either down in London. But yeah, certainly here you're in a goldfish bowl, but no, I believe in what we're doing. I think the fans that come to the stadium the other night, they were unbelievable. They support this team through thick and thin, whether we're home or away. We'll go to Geneva next week. We'll sell out our section there. We'll be packed out again tomorrow, and the fans give this club everything they can. I think that naturally if the team underperforms, there's always 1 or 2 groans. We're no different to that. But I think when they're behind the team, their support is extremely helpful. But with social media and all the things like that, then it's not always your fans that are after your players as well. But every manager faces that.
Thanks, guys. Just on Alex Lowry, obviously made his debut for Hearts last week. He impressed. He played in Europe last night against Rosenborg. What was the process behind sending him on loan? Once that decision was made, how important was it to find the right club for his development, and why ultimately was that Hearts?
Well, the first thing is I wanted to keep him as close to home as possible. The second one was I had a long conversation with Stephen Naismith about him and about what Stephen was looking for and about what Rangers were looking for Alex. This is a loan to come back. This is a loan to go there and do well. This is a loan to go and play regular after a broken season. He has no promises. He's got to earn it like everybody else, which I think is important. But I felt that Stephen was the right place for him, and I think Hearts was the right club as well. They're obviously in Europe, the big game with Rosenborg. Good luck to him in the second leg. I think it's really important for Scottish football. And Alex, I thought, did ever so well at St Johnstone last week, considering he didn't arrive there until the Friday afternoon and probably had only met his teammates on the Saturday morning. So, listen, so far so good. I think it's a really interesting loan for us, and it was just a case of Alex missed quite a bit of football last year for injury and different things, and this year I really want him to play. He's 20 years old and he probably missed pretty much a season with injury. So what a fantastic place for him to go and play, which is close to home and where me and the staff can monitor his every move. But I trust Stephen with him because I think Stephen will be strong with him in terms of the areas he needs to work on as well.